Sources confirming to CNN within the past hour that lawyers for Kavanaugh's accuser have tentatively agreed on a hearing on Thursday for Christine Blasey Ford to have testimony, against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. Now, President Trump has joined the campaign to discredit her, tweeting, "If Ford really was sexually assaulted and the attack was as bad as she claims, why was there no police report? Why didn't her, quote, loving parents report the crime to police?" At the very least, this is an ill-informed question being raised by the most powerful man in the world, a man who himself has been accused of sexual assault by multiple women. Here are the facts. 1 in 5 women will be raped at some point in their lives. When it comes to the broader context of sexual assault, the number is even greater. 1 in 3 women will experience that. In most rape cases, 8 out of 10 to be exact, the victim knows his or her attacker. And when it comes to actually reporting the crime, the numbers are not good. 63% of sexual assaults, more than half, are not reported to police. On the chance they are reported, 99% of perpetrators go completely unpunished. They walk free. Again, 99%. False reporting, on the other hand, rarely happens. According to the National Sexual Violence Resource Center, just 2 to 10% of women aren't telling the truth when they come forward with claims of sexual assault. So why are there so many women and men who don't report it when they are victims of sex crimes? The president doesn't seem to understand why Kavanaugh's accuser waited so long, and some Republican women don't either.
A show of hands, how many of you believe Judge Kavanaugh when he says this didn't happen?
I believe him.
Believe him too.
I do believe him. I believe him.
How can we believe the word of a woman of something that happened 36 years ago when this guy has an impeccable reputation? There was nobody that has spoken ill will about him. Everyone that speaks about him, this guy's an altar boy, a scout. He's, because one woman made an allegation. Sorry, I don't buy it.
But in the grand scheme of things, my goodness, there was no intercourse. There was maybe a touch.
Right.
Can we really? 36 years later, she's still stuck on that? Had it happened?
I mean, we're talking about a 15-year-old girl, which I respect. I'm a woman, I respect. And we're talking about a 17-year-old boy in high school with testosterone running high. Tell me what boy hasn't done this in high school? Please, I would like to know.
So based on my own reporting and interviews with law enforcement, victims advocates, researchers, and survivors themselves, I can tell you why don't they come forward? Oftentimes, they're afraid of being blamed, afraid of not being believed, just like you saw there, afraid of retaliation, afraid of having to relive the assault. Sometimes it's because they're ashamed. They feel guilty. Maybe if they hadn't gotten in that car, maybe if they hadn't gone into a room alone with a man. Sometimes they're struggling just to accept what happened. They think if they don't talk about it, if they don't admit it, maybe they'll forget about it. Sometimes it's simply a question of whether it's worth it. Is it worth having your integrity and character called into question when 99% of perpetrators go free? And when headlines will still highlight your attacker's achievements, when a judge may ask why you simply didn't close your legs or simply give your attacker a pass. What about when a man caught on tape bragging about sexual assault still becomes president? This is why women don't speak up. One last note, in the time it has taken me just to read this, 2 more Americans have been sexually assaulted. It happens every 98 seconds, according to the National Sexual Assault Hotline. A hotline number for those who need help is right there on your screen. Still to come,